Hey guys, welcome back, and apologies if my voice sounds a little off. I'm on the tail end of a horrible cold, but I can finally talk semi-normally again, so I really wanted to get to work on this video. And today I once again have a very specific thing I want to tackle. And this time, I want to turn my attention to our mourning hill. You see, when we look over this way towards our slime temple, everything is now looking so lovely. There's trees and greenery and details and just general life everywhere. I mean, we still need to sort out the paths, and it will also look much better once those shulker boxes are out of the way, but in general, it's all looking just so fantastic and is exactly what I've been hoping for from this project. However, if we turn around and look in the other direction, everything is currently looking a lot blander, empty, and just generally a little bit lifeless. I mean, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the Mourning Tower and the Witch Temple, and we can't currently see them, but I also love both of our gardens on either side of the temple, but this whole middle section by the river and up on this hill are just not quite matching the wonderful vibe we've created on the other side, and I think it's about time that we fix that, starting with this hill. Now, I don't think I want to do anything over the top because I do still really want the Mourning Tower to stand out and feel like the central focus of this hill, but I do think it could benefit from maybe a couple of trees, a small little structure maybe, and definitely a lot of detailing, because this randomly generated grass and dead bushes is just not quite cutting it, and all of these torches definitely need to go. So let's get to work and get this hill all fixed up. Doesn't that just look so much better? From the relatively empty, barren-looking hill we started out with, we now have a lovely, lush hill full of life. And I don't think anything we added is taking away from the Mourning Tower. It's still very much the focal point of the hill and the thing your eye is most drawn to. We've just made the surroundings a little bit prettier and more pleasant to look at, which is exactly what I was going for. I did end up deciding to leave some of these dead bushes in because even though they aren't really part of our texturing palette for the island, I think they do look quite cool, and it does somehow feel very fitting that they are on our mourning hill, so they make for a nice little detail. But we have, of course, used our tried and tested texturing palette for the rest of the hill, and I somehow continue to be surprised by how well this works for just adding that bit of detail. When we first started using it, I was a little worried that by the time we've decorated the whole island, it would start looking repetitive and lacking in variety, but so far I am still loving it, and I think it somehow has just enough variety. I mean, we have some height differences and some colour variety too, so at least for me, this palette is just doing wonders for this project. I'm sure in our next project we'll probably need to vary it up and choose some different greenery and flowers to use, but I am currently thinking that specifically using a select number of flowers can really help to unify a place, so I might continue choosing to work with just a few flowers for each project. But anyway, I am getting off track. Let's take a proper look at some of the areas we've added to this hill. And the main section I wanted to talk about is this fire pit type area, because we had quite a big flat area of land here, so I knew I wanted to build a little structure or something here, and for a while I was struggling with exactly what to put here. At one point I did consider adding a funeral pyre, but that was going to be a bit difficult and also quite morbid, so I decided to not go down that route. However, I did like the idea of still having some fire here, and that eventually led to this fire pit. Now, in some ways it doesn't quite fit the vibe of the project, but it really depends on what you think the fire pit is for. If you think it's for people to sit around and have a drink, then yeah, it doesn't really quite fit the sacred vibe we have going on, but that is not what this area is about. The idea of this space is that people sit on these benches all around the outside and write messages on pieces of paper for their loved ones who have passed on. Once they've written everything they want to say, they throw the paper into the fire so the message can be released into the air and can be delivered to the person they wrote it for. It's a bit less prayer focused, which makes it nice and different from the other structures we've already built, and it's also much less morbid than having a lit funeral pyre, so I actually really like this space. And the other area I quickly wanted to talk about is this little pond with the tree growing out of the middle of it, which I just really love. And while I think it looks good at any time of day, I particularly love this at night, hence me actually doing some night shots, which you guys don't often see because it doesn't always show up great on the video. But I just love the way the tree is all lit up from underneath. It's just a really cool effect. And I also just love the idea of a tree growing in the middle of a pond. I don't know why I like that, but I just really do, so I just had to do it. But with the Mourning Hill all sorted out, there is only one major area of our island which still needs some attention, and that is of course the other side of the pathway next to the river. So I think that will be what we tackle next time, and man, we are getting so close to finishing this project. I am so excited to see this place looking all done and beautiful. I mean, we've still got a couple of bits to sort out after the area by the river, like the pathways and such, but I think there's probably only like maybe 2 more episodes of work left in this project. But until then, thank you guys for watching, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!